Hi guys, Chris here, and you're watching Here We Are Running, and today we are doing a shoe review of the Saucony Guide 14. Now this is a first impressions review, but if you read the title, it's also my final impression. So from that you probably gathered that I didn't really have a sort of positive outcome to this review in this shoe. But we'll come on to that in a minute. And first thing to say is that I've not worn Saucony shoes before, so this is my first experience, and it was a shoe that I was looking forward to, and I wanted to add into my shoe rotation for the everyday type of runs. It's a stability running shoe, and if you're a regular on the channel, you know that I do all my runs in stability shoes because I do overpronate. So how are they providing the stability? Well, firstly, you've got this big chunk of plastic here on the medial side. It is pure solid plastic, and you can sort of see it on the underside there as well. And when I saw that, I thought, you're going to be able to feel that when you put the shoe on and start running. Actually, you can't. So, you know, the actual midsole that they've got over the top of that is obviously stopping you from actually feeling it, yet the plastic is stopping your foot from turning in. So I think it does provide the right type of stability for someone that overpronates. And I wouldn't have a huge concern on stability side of it. The midsole foam is called Power Run. I would describe this as quite a firm midsole. So I'm pushing on that and you can't really see it move. It's a firmer ride than some of my other shoes, which I would describe as being more cushioned due to the midsole that they've got. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think in any shoe rotation it's good to have a mixture, and this, because most of my other shoes do have a more cushioned feel to them, this would have been okay from that perspective. It's got a 8mm heel to toe drop, which is a little bit lower than what I'm used to. Most of mine are 10, I think, or I think I've got one that's even 12. So yeah, a little bit lower. Maybe that's got something to do with the reason I didn't like it, but we'll come on to that again in a minute. And the upper, it was a good fit. It's good breathability as well. It's got lots of perforations on it. It's got a bit of structure here with the logo, but there's also kind of these plastic lines, assume they're plastic, that go across there. Again, adding a bit of structure to it. But as I say, this did feel well fitted, and I would say it's true to size. I'm a UK size 11. Now, I have heard it being described as a lighter weight stability running shoe. I wouldn't describe it as that. I think it's lighter than some, but it's certainly not a shoe that, if you're going to have different shoes for different types of runs, I wouldn't say that this was a good shoe to have for your kind of speedier day runs. There are other ones out there that would be better for that purpose. Looking at the lacing, it's got a little bit of stretch in the laces. I like that. The tongue is just about padded enough. That's good. And there's some padding around the heel area. The heel itself, now on a stability running shoe, you want some form of stability provided by the heel counter. And you can hear from this, there is a solid internal heel counter on this shoe. So all of that, I don't have a problem with. What I have a problem with is the way it felt having done or during that first run, and I've only done one run in it. I did the run on the treadmill. It was a 14k run, and after about 10k I started getting a lot of discomfort on my left forefoot area. And sometimes you get a little bit of discomfort because maybe, well, for reasons you probably can't even explain, and then you carry on running and it goes away. This didn't do that. If anything, this was getting worse the more I was running on it. And if I wasn't towards the end of the run, I would have just had to stop the run, called it a day, and just put it to bed. I didn't. I carried on because I was towards the end, and the discomfort did not go away until I stopped running and took the shoe off. The very next day I did another run, and I did that in a different shoe. Not a sign of discomfort at all. So I've got to put it down to the shoe, and as a result of that, I'm just, you know, on a shoe review, I normally wait 50 miles at least, 80 kilometers, before I review it, because you need a few different types of runs. You need to sort of it's not always going to be the same on the first run as it is after 50 miles. And you want to get that experience of the shoe before you do a shoe review and share it with all you guys. Because you can't be positive about a shoe really until you've got that experience. But I think you will know sometimes on a first impressions video if the shoe just isn't right. And for me, this shoe isn't right. Now, I'm not saying that's going to necessarily be the case for you. And certainly if you run in Saucony guide shoes before, then I wouldn't necessarily say that you're going to have a problem with it. But it's just something to be cautious of, and something that if you are thinking of this shoe, then making sure that you've got an opportunity to return it if you do experience the same sort of issue that I have. So guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, and I'm sorry that I can't be as positive as I'd like to be, but this shoe, unfortunately for me, hasn't worked out. But I hope, in sharing it with you, that you have found it useful, and do go and find out what other people are saying about the shoe as well. Don't just take my one experience. Guys, I hope you found the video useful, and if you have, then please do give it a thumbs up. That's always really appreciated. And if you enjoy watching running content on YouTube, including shoe reviews, then why not consider subscribing for regular running content. But for now, guys, goodbye.